ABC. Paradox. It's more than a simple game. It's a connection to worlds unknown, where a single idea can branch out into infinite strategies, creating new decks from the ones you know. I am GoldenHind. I am your guide through these vast formats. Follow me and ponder the question, how and why? Today we will explore a deck based purely in fantasy, at least for the last 8 years. I present Is This the Real Life? For the Wanderer format. This deck is helmed by Invading Demon of Water, Valentina, previously used for her ruler side abilities, in conjunction with powerful spells like Space-Time Anomaly. She will instead take more of a backseat here, to focus on an even more potent Resonator-based strategy. This deck fears exactly 4 cards: Broken Mask of the Crusader, Reasonable Reunion's Navigator, Alabaster Dragonoid Shaman, and Spirit of the Mirage Ruins. With the specific construction of this deck, they are all mere inconveniences that are easily overcome. Let's begin with 3 copies of Assassin of Mool. This is not a nice card, and you will therefore resolve it many times over the course of a game, with other cards allowing you to make copies of it and further take advantage of its powerful milling ability. We continue with 3 copies of Vacuous, member of the 12 Sacred Knights, the best removal spell in the game. No further explanation is necessary. Next we have 2 copies of the infamous clown, Arlequin of the Dead Moon Circus. Whilst having Untouchable, this card allows you to wreak havoc on your opponent's hand advantage. Following up with 2 copies of the Stony King, this card, being another consensus spell, will allow you to deal with problematic cards before it even touches the field. In addition to hand and grave control, this is an excellent addition. 4 copies of Suya, Cursed Spawn of the Star, and Curse of Ragnarok. This card allows you to have an early response to problematic broken cards, like Broken Mask of the Crusader, as well as further opportunities for hand control. 3 copies of Reasonable, Reunion's Navigator, will make Resonator-based decks that are not properly equipped beg for the sweet release of... it'll make them scoop. 2 copies of Tinkerbell, Spirit of the Light Trials, will allow you to deal with oversized boards in large swaths for a very low cost. 3 copies of Statue of the Misty Dragon will serve to enable repeating your enter triggers, or temporarily eliminate cards that you find inconvenient. 3 copies of One-Hit KO Anesthesia provides a sweeping debuff to Resonators that enter the field this turn, which is more than enough to eliminate Spirit of the Mirage Ruins or Alabaster Dragonoid Shaman. 4 copies of Cursed Mirror of the Snake allow you to maintain control of the tempo in a game, preventing valuable plays from resolving as early as turn 0. 3 copies of Arrival of the Conqueror. This card has many functions, including an easy out to Reasonable. 2 copies of Valentina's Reach. With this card, in conjunction with her new Regalia or Sub-Ruler, you can make your opponent discard up to 5 cards for as little as 2 will. 2 copies of High-Speed Uppercut Treatment serves as insurance to eliminate problematic cards entirely by targeting one of them in the graveyard. 4 copies of the Nightmare That Engulfed Mool functions as the deck's main advantage engine, allowing you to make copies of a number of cards from outside the game. And with the presence of the next card, you can reveal multiple cards from your sideboard with ease. Lastly, we have 2 copies of Porcelain Statue of the Overlord. This is the linchpin around which the entire strategy hinges. Familiarize yourself with it, and the pieces will fall into place. For our Magic Stone deck, we are carrying 4 copies of the Remains of Ataraxia, 3 copies of Magic Stone of Dark Depth, 2 copies of Fragments of the Emerald Tablet, and 1 copy of Black Pearl of the Water Depths. In our sideboard, we begin with 2 copies of Hydria, member of the 12 Sacred Knights. While this deck is not devoid of draw power, it may be pertinent to bring her in for later games and utilize her God's Art after emptying your opponent's hand, to ensure it stays that way. The next 3 cards are designed to provide endless advantage with the Nightmare That Engulfed Mool. We are carrying 1 each of Assassin of Mool, Nightmare the Ashen Dream, and Deceptive Dream. 2 copies of Zero's Light Lightning can be utilized if need be to deal with extremely problematic cards such as Hugh, Queen's Left Hand. 2 copies of The Last Movement provides us with a turn 0 answer to Broken Mask of the Crusader, or any other litany of cards we hate to see. 2 copies of Forgotten Amphitheater of Mool serves us as a permanent way to deal with graveyard-based strategies, while also providing some occasionally necessary interaction for abilities. 3 copies of Fates Reunited should be included in most decks for the time being. If you can justify the space, there are many cards that you can erase from your list of problems if you only take the time to think about it. We close the deck out with 1 copy of Porcelain Statue of the Overlord, which you will reveal at the start of the game and either add to your hand or place into your ruler area. Will anyone give this deck a try, or is it just fantasy? Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week with some